I already know how to beat the system, the 1 hour system.
Forgetting and making nothing.
No, because it's gonna recognize your email, so you won't be able to.
VPN?
No, no, you're no. I got another email. I have 2 emails for 2 YouTube channels. So if you don't,
my email though.
yeah, it's the email that I recognize because you have to enter. Remember, you have to enter your email.
Así que no.
You're gonna reject it.
Yo no me iba a molestar tampoco. Like I was just simply gonna pay the $5 and put
No,
it
I'm not gonna pay that
on
shit.
the
Oh well,
company's bill.
they might not want to cover that because they're like, you don't need that. That's not
I do need
that's
it.
not a
I
necessity.
did it, yeah. Because I need to tell the driver
But
when I'm going back or if I'm going back or if something happens
Yeah.
to the flight. So yeah, it is a necessity. You need to be communicated.
I'm just gonna open it up with my other email. That's it.
So Anna even mentioned that if we get higher charges for roaming, it would be very good.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned
The
that.
company expenses is fine.
Invitamos en ese momento a pasajeros con niños menores de 2 años, pasajeros en el grupo 3 para el vuelo 390 con destino a Guatemala. Son bienvenidos a embarcar en la fila número 2 de la puerta 128. We wait passengers with children over 2 years old, the passengers in group number 3. To
¿Fue ayer?
Yo siento que yo estoy llegando, no yéndome. Ajá.
En verdad sí se siente como que ayer porque yo estaba aquí.
Sí, yo como, pero yo estoy aquí ayer. Vamos que ya no estoy llegando. Es un mes que deben de dejarlo aquí. Como cualquier dominicano, ya no volvemos a hablar de dominicano, sabe, ¿no? Ya se lo sabe. Porque para antojar a uno.
Nos dejan por un mes hoy y venimos hablando como los salvadores.
Lo que pasa es que en verdad nosotros no nos entienden.
No.
Entonces tenemos obligatoriamente que adaptarnos a la cinturía.
Anoche, cuando estábamos hablando con Gini, yo nada más la veía y yo, como ella tiene que estar. Y ellos paran de loca, porque entonces le hablamos en español y en inglés. A mí. Pues yo sé que estamos hablando rápido. Y Gini solamente viéndonos, yo como, sorry.
¿Quién fue que nos dijo del acento? Bueno, un paquetón de gente nos dijeron, pero ¿quién fue que nos dijo a la misma vez? Que ustedes tienen un acento. Yo no me acuerdo.
Creo que fue Manuelo. Que she liked it too.
No me acuerdo que... I don't remember who it was, but...
A mí lo dijeron several times.
Exactly, so that's why I
Es un
can't...
acento muy bonito, yo como en mi mente, yo no tengo acento. Por favor, no me digas eso.
En la cafetería también, las mujeres que trabajan ahí me dijeron, usted tiene un acento muy bonito. Y yo, muchas gracias.
Es la primera vez
Que yo oigo que bonito.
Sí, porque siempre que se escucha de dominicana siempre es.
Te hablan muy rápido, te hablan boceado.
No,
El peor español de toda Latinoamérica.
Pero sí, conocido por eso. Pero ¿qué pasa? Nos conocen por eso, porque de verdad la mayoría de dominicanos pronunciamos muchas palabras mal, pero entonces por eso.
Es algo que
Pero
tú
cuando
te
la gente,
acostumbras,
pero
¿eh?
cuando la gente lo escucha, le gusta, porque ellos no lo pronuncian así.
Sí. Colombianos también me han dicho, su acento es muy bonito, yo como tú de todos me vienen así que mi acento
Colombiano
¿tú
que
te
te digan.
escuchabas?
Ah, esto, lasaña.
Aquí hay de todo, aquí tenemos lasañas, tenemos un bol y aquí viene todo el pasta. Todo italiano, pero...
My people, I'm in Panama for 2 hours, man. Gotta eat something, right? Still upset about the way they doing Tank Davis. And yo, earlier we didn't really get to talk about Brian Norman Jr. firing his pops. What other fighter you think need to fire their pops? You know who needs to just, you know who needs to have their pops as a hype man, not as a trainer, not as a coach? Teofimo. Pops could be a hype man, but I think he's the next one to get fired. The next father and son duo to split. Agent 17, my brother, salute. Damn. He going to jail. Boy, I got Tio Shakur. So, on Monday, I'm making that prediction. On Monday's episode of Boxing for Breakfast, I'm making my official prediction. Gonna be a good fight, gonna be competitive. We're gonna get a much, much more entertaining fight, fun fight than people expect. I want you to understand, Teofimo's going into this fight feeling like he got to knock Shakur out to beat him. But Shakur's going into this fight feeling like he need a monster performance, like he need to shock everybody so he can step up in the pound for pound list, get closer to becoming the face of boxing. So they both have an added pressure because what they want to accomplish. It's going to be a good fight. It's going to be a good one. January 31st, y'all going to see some fireworks. Believe me.
Por otro lado,
We're going to get some fireworks, my brother. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and say that somebody's gonna get washed, because I know that they're both real good fighters. But I know who's gonna win. I know who's gonna win. And on Monday I'm gonna reveal that. Appreciate you, Agent 17. And listen, this year, 2026, what you know about me, a lot of people are going to find out this year. You're going to say, yeah, this is the guy. He is him. Because they don't know yet. But this boxing shit going to get crazy in 2026. Remember I told ya. Yo, Agent, let me ask you something. What do you think about Brian Norman Jr. firing his pops? Gonna hit them bets, man. If you're going with me, you're gonna hit. For sure. And on January 31st, you're gonna make that money if you rock with me. But what do you think about Teofimo firing his pops? He's not the first fighter to do it. Other fighters done it. I remember when Oscar De La Hoya fired his pops. I remember when Floyd Mayweather fired his pops. So it happens. Wait, what he did? Nah. I mean, the last fight, you know that Brian Norman Jr. lost. Got beat up by Devin Haney. And maybe he felt like his father didn't really prepare him the way he should have for that fight. Because if we're being real, Norman Jr. didn't do good at all in that fight. It's like he wasn't nothing. You know, because if it would have been real competitive, and he lost in a split decision, it's different. Devin Haney cooked him. So maybe he didn't feel like his pops prepared him for that fight. They were like, yo, I gotta move on. I gotta get, some coaches, some trainers up in here. That's it. I definitely think Tio needs to separate from his dad. Dad messing him up. I'm telling you, Dad, great hype man. Just be the hype man. Be the hype man. I- You could be right there yelling, cursing people out, doing all the shit you want to do. But let the people at the highest level of trainers train Tio. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see how this fight is gonna play out on the 31st. And I told you, JStradamus knows the outcome. I'm gonna let you know on Monday who's gonna win that fight. So remember, this is crazy. 2026 just started, cool story. But just remember, the whole last year, I missed one pick, and that fight was a draw. So even the only one that I missed, my fighter didn't lose. He went to a draw. On Lace Kicks, hermanito mío. Estamos en Panamá ahora mismo, waiting for my next flight. I'm gonna be here for 2 hours. And now that's it. From here, we fly into Dominican Republic, get there at midnight, go to sleep. Well, I'm gonna get home like at 2 in the morning, but or 2:30, something like that. But boxing for breakfast is going down. I'm gonna take that to the bank to get some pounds. Y'all know there ain't no slacking over here. Yo, on Lace Kicks, what do you think about Brian Norman Jr. firing his pops? The trip was good, man. I mean, I'm here for work, so it's not like I was just hanging out, but it was a good trip. Had a real good time out here. I mean, in El Salvador, so good stuff. In fact, I want to go back to El Salvador, like on some vacation kind of thing. You know, like I'm not working, I'm just enjoying the country. It's a beautiful country, my people. Beautiful country. And I finally ate the famous Salvador pupusas. My peoples, the pupusas is crazy. The pupusas is for real. Now I understand why people always talking about the pupusas. Whoa. Whoa. That's what I gotta tell you. The pupusas from El Salvador, I'm scoring those 10 out of 10. Taking the fam next time, hell yeah. Gonna do a little family trip, man. Go to my peoples, if you have an opportunity, visit El Salvador, man. Those of you who are in the US, I think you don't even need a visa. I don't need a visa to go to El Salvador, so you probably don't need it either. And I think flights over there for y'all is cheap too. Visit El Salvador, my people. That's a beautiful country. On Lace Kicks, honestly, I think he needs different, real advice in his corner. I mean, there's a reason, I guess, why why he decided to part ways. That was not a good performance versus Devin Haney. Because I tell you what, we all know this. Sometimes a fighter loses and their stock goes up. Look at Reina Tellez losing to Amanda Serrano. Her stock skyrocketed. Why? Because she kept landing big punches, kept, putting hands. Look at the way she left Amanda Serrano at the end of the fight. So she lost, but she put up a real good fight on short notice with little experience. Her stock skyrocketed. But Brian Norman Jr. being a world champion, he got dominated by Devin Haney. It looks like Pops prepared him to chase Devin Haney around for 12 rounds. Imagine if they brought all these sparring partners that was running around and had Brian Norman Jr. chasing him. And now he got to step in the ring with a Devin Haney that's going to go face to face and put hands on him. No running. That's why he got cooked. It don't look like he was prepared for what Devin brought that night.
Este es el último llamado de abordaje para el vuelo Copa Airlines 390 con destino a Guatemala. Todos los pasajeros con asiento confirmados deben abordar en este momento por puerta de embarque 128. Desde la Tronico,
So Agent 17, I remember Salvador del Mundo, la zona coloquial o histórica. La zona histórica. We went to a few places. I can't remember. Oh, yo. Nah, I gotta show you this, dude. So when I got to El Salvador, I saw this big mountain. And I was like, yo, I gotta run over there. And people was like, yo, you crazy. That's too far. Can't. I was like, yo, nothing is gonna be the same if I don't run that mountain, B. I need to do that. Nobody thought I would. If I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it no matter what. Y'all boy JSmiff was running in the mountains out here 2 days. 2 days before going to work. I went to that mountain, baby. I got a cab. I told him, yo, take me up that mountain. I'm going to pay you so I could run and you could come behind me so another car don't hit me, right? And he was like, yeah, I got you. Let's go. I was up there. Jake Paul got better trainers than some of these fighters. It's true. Yeah, a little cross-country action. Fun as hell. Loved it. Like, it's a memory of a lifetime I got up there. You're right, man. Jake Paul, he got some good people in that squad. You know who else, man? I don't understand why he do that. Got the money to have some of the best in the game, and he beat Deontay Wilder. That shit bothered me so much, man, when he hired the guy that he done knocked the F out. And you hire that dude as your coach. And that dude had you practicing a 360, and you got knocked out right after doing a 360 by Zhilei Zhang. Like, what is we doing practicing 360s while boxing? So that was goofball shit to me. Wilder got mad money, generational wealth. You need to get you one of them big name coaches already. I remember even Floyd offered to train Wilder. I know he's gonna maybe charge an arm and a leg, but that's Floyd. He's gonna put you on point. Yeah, I agree with you, man. You know, like the way that he did that to Breland, that was cold, man. That was cold. Saying that he spiked his water and he did all this shit just because you got beat up. And look, what was your excuse for the last time when you took the worst beating? Took a worse beating on that third fight. What was your excuse then? What was your excuse for Zhilei Zhang when you did a 360 right before getting knocked out? Yeah, saying that Breland wants to spy and saying all this other stuff. Didn't know how to take a L, man. Wilder didn't know how to take a L. And if you think about it, ever since the first fight with Fury, Wilder's never been the same. And what I mean by not the same, I mean as far as his standing in boxing. He's never climbed to the top again. He's never won a title again. He's never won a big fight again after that. It was almost like that loss sent him on a downhill spiral. Fury, as of right now, it's fair to say that Fury pretty much ended Wilder's run. Not even pretty much, he ended it. Wilder never became a champion after that. So, Fury got the best of him, but Wilder has the talent, the talent, the size, the strength to become a world champion again. Don't get it twisted. The odds are against him, severely against him, but in the heavyweight division, it takes one big punch and you're done. One shot, boom, over. But the odds are against him. Especially these young heavyweights coming up. Wilder can't mess with those guys. Imagine Wilder stepping in the ring with Moses Itauma. he will get brutalized. Brutalized. And if you think about it, Agent 17, when fighters take a L and they stand in front of a camera and they say stuff like, the better man won, he got it, I'm going to go back to the drawing board. When they use that vocabulary, fans respect it more. Because they're like, yo, he took the L like a man. He took it, that's it. But when they start saying, nah, I lost because of this and I lost because of that, what had happened was, you get criticized. You know how many memes they made about Wilder for that shit? He turned into a meme. And that's the last memory that we have of a Wilder championship fight. Not of a Wilder championship fight, because he fought after that, but just of one of his championship fights where he just couldn't accept it. Took a L, couldn't accept it. Agent 17, Team Bub, very impressive with everyone they have and the techniques they use. They're very tactical and smart, hardworking too. You saw it with Keyshawn Davis, how he was out there looking like Crawford sometimes. You see it with fighters that work with them, because Shakur got his own coach. Shakur got Wally Moses, who is a great coach, but he also worked with Crawford. So he's getting some of that insight as well. Some of them techniques. And we're going to see it in display on January 31st. Remember I told y'all, on January 31st, we're going to see the best version of Shakur Stevenson and the best version of Teofimo Lopez. Both of them. Shakur Stevenson moving up one weight. Obviously, he's not going to show up dehydrated. He's fighting at a higher division now. Teofimo Lopez, we know he's good at 140. Strong, fast, faculties on point. So, it's going to be interesting. Going to be interesting to see how that plays out. By the way, tomorrow we are going to be focusing more on that fight. And then on Monday, I'm making my prediction. Going down.
Resignado de la vida. Yo le quiero llegar. Déjame. No puedo más.
I'm telling you, there's little subtle things that Keyshawn does that you can see is from the Crawford playbook. As soon as you, Agent 17, locking in your bed when I make my prediction. Monday. I got you on Monday. I was actually going to wait for fight week, but I say, you know what? For the people that's trying to flip their money, it's better if I make it on Monday. That way, if the odds get closer, I know if you wait for last minute to bet, you're not going to make as much. So I make that prediction on Monday. Take care of business. I like Bo Match coaching style. When he comes in with that wide shit, hit him back. Yo, listen. Bo Mac, been trainer of the year, and he's just done really good, man. He's just done really good. He's been, fighters work with him, and it's like you see immediate improvement when they fight with him. You see techniques that they bring. Yo, you don't remember when Chris Eubank Jr. got his ass beat? Who was it that beat him? I can't remember right now. Who beat? Not Conor Benn. Not Conor Benn. Who was it that beat Chris Eubank Jr. before that? I can't remember who was it. But for the rematch, he brought Bomac for the rematch. Whoop homie's ass. Whoop this whole shit. He had Bomac. Bomac the GOAT. Before that Canelo fight, I had Robert Garcia as trainer of the year. But Bomac really impressed me. I mean, you just got, you got to look at the resume, man. Bomac. It's almost like if you're elite, if you're an elite level guy and you go work with Bomac, you're pretty much guaranteeing that you're going to become a champion. If you're talented like that, he's going to take you all the way. That's what he's been doing. I mean, look, Chris Eubank Jr. hired him for a training camp because he saw what he'd been doing with Crawford and with other fighters. So, you know what? I'm happy for Bomac because he started with Crawford when they was nobody. They really got it from the mud. And look where they at. Look what they accomplished as a team. And by the way, look, listen to this. People don't give Crawford the respect and love that he deserved, but we've been knew that. But I want you to think about this. And Crawford said it himself. When Crawford was fighting, in small little venues, like his first, 10, 12 fights, small venues and stuff like that. And Top Rank decided that they wanted to sign him for the first time. They actually told him, we're going to sign you. We're going to put you with this coach, with this trainer, strength and conditioning coach, this trainer, this, and we're going to take you to the top. This nigga Crawford said, now, I got to bring my team. Bomac and such and such and such and such. That's how we work. So, basically, he wasn't willing to sign with nobody if he wasn't bringing his people. The people that brought him up, he could have left them behind. Crawford could have said, word, I could just come, fuck it, okay, and left them behind, shitted on him. But he didn't do that. He's solid. He was like, nah, I don't need you to give me a team. I got my team. If y'all want to work, that's my team right there. They had no choice. But if Crawford wasn't that type of person, today we may not even know Bomac. Because he might have left him, and now Bomac starts once again working with lower level fighters and amateurs and all that. And he would have never got that recognition, so he might have never had those opportunities. And that's really how you're supposed to do it. You've been seeing the behind the videos, Bub been posting. I've seen some of them. I haven't seen that much. Since I've been out here, well, since I was in El Salvador, I haven't seen that much. But again, man, what Crawford did for Bomac allowed him to solidify his place in boxing. Listen, let me give you an example. I know fighters who, as soon as they signed their big contract, they dropped everybody and went with a whole new team that they gave them. Let me give you an example. Andy Cruz. Andy Cruz is with Boots in him, with Bozy. Right, so he signed his deal and he went with Bozy. And he dropped his whole team and went to a whole new team. Now, he went to a heck of a team, I ain't gonna lie. Went to a hell of a team. But imagine the coaches that brought him up, the coaches that been working with him. Imagine how they felt when they got left behind. We don't even know them niggas' names. Who are they? Think about it. We don't even know Andy Cruz's previous coaches because he didn't bring them up with him. That's it. Now they start from ground zero trying to build somebody else up and trying to get that shot. On Lace Kicks, You can say Rayo. Agent 17 making Canelo look soft because Eddie sitting there wrapping his hands. Bo was like, nah, I wrap my own shit on lace kicks. You can say Rayo. Listen, Rayo Valenzuela is a fighter who I told people was going to become a world champion. Unfortunately, he wasn't supposed to become a world champion. They didn't want him to be a world champion. There's politics in boxing that some people don't understand, don't see it. But I see it a mile away. And I'm going to tell you why. He won that title. He beat Pitbull Cruz. Remember, Pitbull Cruz was supposed to win that fight and get the rematch with Tank Davis. That's what was supposed to happen. But Rayo beat him. And what they did with Rayo, right away fed him to Gary Antoine Russell. And didn't even give him a rematch clause. He the champion, remember. He was the champion, and Gary Antoine Russell wasn't his mandatory. He didn't have to fight Gary Antoine Russell. But they basically told him, yeah, you got to fight him or you cooked. We're going to bench you. You're going to be on the bench for a long time if you don't do what we... Robert Garcia said it. Robert Garcia was like, yo, they basically forced him to take that fight. And then give him a rematch clause. They didn't even... This dude, how many months passed? Was it like 3 months later or some shit like that? I don't know. But guess what? If Rayo Valenzuela would have been one of their guys that they want to be a champion, they would have allowed him a little title defense. They would have given him a little rematch clause. They would have given him another fight with somebody else before fighting one of the big boys. Why? Because now you're going to get a bag for this title defense. You're going to get a bag for this little fight over here. And then we're going to get you this dude with a rematch clause. So you're going to get 2 bags off him. So if he beats you, you're going to get another bag. They didn't do none of that with him. Well, like, yo, bro, you don't have to fight him. No rematch clause, no nothing. We got our own plans. They was dying to take that title away from that boy. On lace kicks, Rayo left Team Benavidez. Now Rayo is the first to sign with Zuffa. Crazy work. You see? There you have it. And he has the potential to become one of the Zuffa champions. It can happen. He's really that talented. But like I told you, in boxing, there's politics. And sometimes a promoter or a promotional company, they want this guy at the top. They don't want that guy. So if that guy wins, they want to take that title from him ASAP. I'm going to give you another example. This dude, Banana Rosario, the Dominican fighter, who beat Jared Hurd. Banana Rosario went to challenge Jared Hurd. He was supposed to lose that fight. They took him there to get his ass kicked. But he won. Beat him. Dropped him. Beat him up. So what did they do for his very next fight with him as a world champion? Very next fight, they fed him to Charlo with no rematch clause. Got his ass kicked. That's it. You done. Why? Because they didn't want Homie to be a champion. He wasn't supposed to win that fight. They wanted Jared Hurd to beat him so it could be Jared Hurd and Charlo. He messed up the plan. They took that title from him ASAP. He wasn't one of their guys. So sometimes a promotional company has their guys and then just a bunch of people to feed to them so their guys could keep going up. So when they feed one of these guys to their guy and that guy wins, that they look to get that title from him ASAP because you wasn't supposed to win. All right. Agent 17, what's your opinion on white-collar boxing? JSmiff. Certain fighters choosing that route over the traditional route. Can you tell me, honestly, I'm not familiar with, what does that phrase mean, white-collar boxing? Refresh my recollection, fam. Parece que está buena la lasaña, ¿eh?
Ya se acabó la cosa.
¿Te tumbó? Ah, pues el mío va a tomar 5 minutos porque yo entré 5 minutos después de ti. I mean, I wasn't even familiar with that, bro. I mean, I think as long as people are matched evenly and nobody's being abused or nothing like that, I don't know. I mean, they also have.
Efectiva tarjeta.
They also have masters. Give me the 40. Here. Where is it? They also have that category, masters, where it's people who are not really professional fighters. Anybody can join. Maybe that's the same thing. That's what you're saying. But it's not, it's not about training or anything like that. Masters, anybody can fight. It's usually people who are older, who are too old to be professional fighters. So the masters is usually people that are in their 40s, 50s, even 60s that like to box. But when you fight in that, for masters, you don't even make money. That's more because people, want to fight. It's kind of like basketball players who already retired from basketball, but they still go to a little league to play, to a smaller league to have fun with over there. They're not going to get paid, but they want to, So I don't know if that is what you're talking about. They actually get paid. No belts, or no, just a league belt for each weight class.
I mean, no sé.
Kind of like UFC.
Yes.
Okay, now for masters, there's no... Yeah, but that's like a little sideshow kind of thing. Like, I would say that's...
Do you like the tip?
Huh?
Do you like the tip?
I'm sorry?
15%, 20%.
La propina. Sabe español también, claro.
¿Ya te agrega la propina en la galleta?
Ah, sí. Claro. Vic, bro, Canelo coming back on September 2026. Bro needs to retire already. Listen. Canelo is Mauricio Sulaiman's guy. They want him to be champion. If Sulaiman could grab a belt and give it to him, like, here, this is your belt, they would do that without even fighting. Here, this is you. So, and I expected Canelo to come back. A guy like that's not gonna retire on a loss. So I fully expected him to come back. Of course, Canelo want to grab a title and say, I retired a champion. And of course, Mauricio, the goofball Sulaiman, is going to do anything to make that happen. Age of 17, Canelo can still beat most, if not all, of the top 10 in super middleweight. I don't think so. I do say he beats most of them, but not all of them. A few of them will whoop his ass. Trust me, after Canelo losing the way that he lost to Crawford, they're going to be real careful with that matchmaking. Of course, he might have to fight Hamza for that WBC belt, if that's what ends up with it. But if he loses that fight, he might even retire. 2 L's in a row, you cooked. You're done. An ass whooping to Crawford, and then Hamza Shiraz does the same. You cooked. You're done. That's it. Hamza Shiraz can fight, bro. You saw what he did to Edgar Berlanga. Beat the shit out of him worse than Canelo. But to be fair, Berlanga was running from Canelo. He went in that fight thinking that he could beat Shiraz. Got his ass whooped. Now Hamza Shiraz is the king of New York because of Edgar Berlanga goofy ass. ¿No vamos de aquí? Ah, bueno, ya la fue coche. Sí, sí, buena idea.
Y los recibos. Because they took them back.
Buena idea. Age of 17, Canelo needs to go down to 154. Trust me, my G. Canelo hasn't been to 154 in so long that he couldn't make 154. He'd have to starve himself, dehydrate himself. He would get to fight night weak. Like, he will get beat up. If he makes 154 and getting beat up, he's not going to be himself. He's been away from that division for too long already. Muchas gracias. Ah, por la favor. Pero esto refleja también la propina, ¿verdad? Okay. Better keep the receipts, my people. Always keep your receipt when the company pay for shit. That's what happens when you're with a good company. They pay for shit. They're like, we need you to go somewhere, but we're going to pay for everything. Thank y'all. Thank you to everybody that's paying for all this shit. I mean, look, I got to tell you, my people. I'm lucky. I work for a company that makes me feel appreciated. And I told you guys before, some people don't know that, but I'm actually a content creator by profession. That's what I do for a living. So if you see my boxing content, you can imagine I'm probably kind of nice at what I do. You could probably imagine that if I'm a content creator, I might be nice. Might have a little skills. Let me give you a heads up. The airport gives you 1 hour. 1 hour of free Wi-Fi. So when we get to the 50 minutes, 55, the live is going to drop. But I'm going to be in the airport for another hour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my other email address to get another free hour. ¿El 224? Age is 17. I just don't want him to lose again. I don't know what to tell you, bro. Ah, pero es que a ustedes les gusta caminar, ¿eh? ¿Está bien? Ah. Ya. Age is 17, finessing. Yo, I got on this thing, man, and it's going the wrong way. Huh? Well, I'm going to get on that one to go back. I'm going to tell you something, my peoples. I love visiting new countries, but I hate traveling, y'all. You're in the airport for hours. You got to go through all these security checks. You gotta show your passport, your ID 50 times. You gotta take your shoes off. This shit is a hassle, B. Traveling before 9/11 was different. It was easy. It was fast. Now traveling, hassle, a headache. Where you guys going? Not to mention the price of the tickets. You're damn right. I mean, sometimes, especially people who travel a lot, they know how to find deals. So they know when is the right time. Like, let me give you an example. If people people know this, the cheapest plane tickets are the ones that are at midnight or after. So to give you an example, a round trip ticket to Dominican Republic could cost you $700, right? But it's gonna cost you $700 or $800 because you bought it for Friday at 2 p.m. That plane is gonna be packed. So that ticket is gonna be expensive. Or you bought it for Christmas, it's gonna be packed. But if you buy a plane ticket to the same place on the same airline at 2 in the morning, you might get it like half off, maybe even more than half off. So you got somebody flying to Dominican Republic who paying $800 on Friday at 2 p.m. And then you got somebody flying on Saturday at 3 a.m., 3 in the morning, and they paying like $350, $400. Now, why that flight is so cheap? Because that plane is gonna fly almost empty. A lot of people don't fly at that time. So they trying to sell as many seats as possible. So they put them at dirt cheap prices. Once they realize, like, let's say a few days before the flight and it's empty, them seats go out for cheap. So, you know, there's strategies. This way, look. There's strategies that people use to get cheap plane tickets and all that. But still, man, it is a hassle. Saudi Arabia, 6 hour. Man, listen, them long flights, crazy, man. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of it at all. Like I told you, man, I like going to new places, being in new places, meeting people, seeing the culture. But the process of getting there sucks. Sucks.